Nothing really prepares you for what it's like to live with dementia day to day. Sometimes it is heartbreaking, and sometimes it's heartwarming. And sometimes your mom tells you a horse came to visit her, and then you find out it was actually true. We actually had to lie to my mom to get her into memory care, assisted living. And that was really difficult for me. I don't think I had lied to my mom since I was a teenager. So, day one, they warned us there's an adjustment period. Your mom may isolate for a day or two, or a week or two, or a month or two, and not come out and socialize, but we'll do our best to get her out of her room. Wonderful. Not something you really want to hear, but it is what it is. So, day one, we are moving her in. My plan was to, we started early. My plan was to have it completely turnkey. Everything, knickknacks and plants and pictures on the wall that bring her joy, and just perfect so that her adjustment period hopefully wouldn't be too long. So we're getting to the tail end of it, and we're getting ready to hang the pictures. That was the last thing. And we had the door propped open because we had been moving things in and out. And hear this voice, Irene. And it was a lady that she had met during the tour, Bev. And so Bev says, Irene, do you want to go have lunch with me? And my mom didn't get up. She sprung up. At the door, she turned around and said, I'll be back later. And she was gone. And that was the beginning. It was absolutely beautiful. She adjusted so well and was so social and just having the time of her life. She had been caring for my father, who was disabled, for the last 10 years. So her social life had really shrunk. And her core personality was highly social. So it was one of the best things we could have done for her. And the first year, that was pretty much what it was like. So the horse, I visited my mom. She was going on and on and on. And I'm telling you what, she was excited, like beyond excited, telling me all about this horse that had come to visit her. And there was a box full of kittens. And one of the kittens fell asleep on her chest. And she just went on and on and on about this beautiful horse and how sweet it was and how gorgeous and how soft. And this kitten, and it was purring on her chest. I mean, she's very detailed, very crazy story. So as I was leaving that day, it's like, man, my mom's excited. And that's a good day for me. And so I was leaving and I saw the director, and I just stopped to chat with her and said, my mom's just crazy excited about this strange thing about this horse coming to visit her. And she started laughing. And then she went like this with her phone. And there was a picture of my mom with a horse behind her and a kitten on her chest. I am not kidding you. So I asked her to send that, and I'm going to share it right here. So it's like one of my favorite pictures, because that moment of having my mind blown that actually a horse did come to visit her. But in my mom's story, the horse arrived in the back seat of a car, which wasn't true. But yeah, this gorgeous horse had come to visit her, and a kitten fell asleep on her chest. And it's one of my favorite stories. So having a grandfather and a grandmother, and a mother that had dementia, I have kind of noticed, at least with my grandfather and my mother, that dementia just really puts a shiny light on their core personality. Their core personality becomes bigger. My mom was just a happy, lovely, joyful person, and she still is. And my grandfather, who I didn't really know that well, I only saw him a couple times a year, and he really didn't want anything to do with me because I was a girl. And he was very gruff, I guess, person. And, he was like, what I remember from him, of him as a child, was that he swore a lot and used to really upset my mom. So he became, well, he got kicked out of I don't know how many places. I lost count because he was violent and yelled and cussed and hit and all sorts of things. So his core personality became much bigger. And then my grandmother, who was a very proper lady and very concerned with appearances. She was just that type of person. She was wonderful, don't get me wrong. She was a great grandma. But she was very proper. And when she got dementia, she really turned into a giddy schoolgirl. And so that was kind of a surprise. And it was lovely. She giggled a lot and she was engaging, and so it wasn't really her core personality. So I would love to see some comments from people who are going through this or have been through it, of what that looked like as far as the core personality of your loved one. Did their core personality get bigger? Did it change? I would love to see some comments about that. So there are so many stories, and I'm not going to share all of them, obviously, but some of them are, it's like I can see parts of my mom coming through a lot of times. Sometimes I sing to her, even though I can't sing, and I will sing a song that she loved. And one of my standbys is "What's New, Pussycat?" And then she'll go, "Whoa, whoa." And I don't know, music is just a way. When we first moved her in there, they have, I guess, entertainment that comes in. I volunteer to come in and play music, or some of the school choirs come in. And so there was a guy, and he had it figured out. So he pretty much played guitar and sang, and it was all 50s and 60s music. And my mom knew the lyrics to everything. It was pretty impressive. And I think so, music connecting her to the reality that she can remember, music is a way to pull that out. And a lot of times she will not remember now the words to songs, but I still sing them to her because I just feel like she connects to them somehow. And there are so many different ways. I connect with my mom. I know how to make her smile, and I know how to make her laugh. And it is embarrassing, but I am going to do it here on camera, and I'll get up real close to her and I'll go and snort like a pig. And she will just giggle and laugh. And if she's in a funky mood, that just brings her back because she starts laughing. And if you can, for me, finding ways to connect with her and pull her closer, most of the time, especially now, because it is a progressive disease, Most of the time now, she's not as talkative. She still talks. It's gibberish, but I don't care. I listened anyway. And I will, she'll say words that don't exist in the English language. And I'll just go, "You're kidding. Oh my gosh," or I'll laugh. And so we still communicate. It's just different. And I have grown to accept it. Every time I'm going to talk about that acceptance for a minute because it is such a progressive disease. And some of the progressions are really rapid and some of them are really slow. But because of that, it feels to me like I just adjust to one reality and then it changes again. And it is like going through grief, You go through it, you start getting through it, and then you start a new one. And excuse me. And just need water. So it progresses, and for me, the only way I can survive it is to go along with the progressions and feel my grief and mourn when it changes. But so now she doesn't talk that much, but I just still talk to her. I tell her about my day, I tell her about my week, I tell her stories, I sing to her still. I do whatever I can to connect with her, and every once in a while I will get a glimpse. And like a really good day for me, even though it's a nickname from childhood that I absolutely hate, every once in a while she will call me by that name. And I don't really want people commenting and calling me that, but I'm going to tell you anyway. She'll call me Sissy. That is not my name, and I hate that nickname. I have always hated that nickname, but she'll say whatever. She'll say something like, "Oh, Sissy." And that's a good day for me. So it's amazing that something that I hated all my life is so joyful. And that's kind of what dementia is in a nutshell. It's finding joy in moments that you never thought you would find joy in. And so there's like it's a crazy place to be for my mom. And there's so many fun stories of so many different things. And definitely it's not all good stories, but I'm going to share them anyways. I would really love to see some dialogue in the comments on your struggles and your achievements and going through this with somebody you love. I still absolutely feel blessed that my mom is still with me, and I feel blessed that I still have moments with her that are really special. Those days she calls me Sissy, those are really, really special for me. And when she looks at me, she still melts me. Like, it totally melts me. I just think that accepting that this is who she is now has been a big deal for me. And, a few times I've sat in my car, I told you about that. But I would love to see dialogue on what you're doing and how you're navigating it. It's such a hard time for families when you see someone that you love drifting away, As far as I am concerned, dementia stole my mom. And I wish that wasn't true. But at the same time, I am finding a reason to be grateful for, that I love someone so much that this hurts me so bad, and that I pretty much, like many people might say this, but I pretty much had the best mom ever. and she's still with me. And I see glimpses of her now and then. And I'm just gonna choose to be grateful for that. I would really appreciate some comments. I would really appreciate learning about other people's experiences. And I think maybe as a community, we can all learn together. I have other content I'm going to be uploading on some of the stories and some of the other things that I've learned, going to a memory care facility for 7 years. And I'm a social introvert, so I do really well in social situations. And since I work from home, that is one of my big social interactions, and I'm there every week. So I interact with a lot of people, a lot of staff, and a lot of residents. And I have developed some beautiful relationships with other rel, maybe I need a room, um, other residents. So that's been pretty beautiful for me. And one of the things that happened that was kind of like a wake up call for me, if you have someone in, certainly not suggesting this for everyone, but for me, it was like, wow, I love this. So I always go at lunchtime because my mom needs to be fed now. And I like feeding her. She did it for me for a lot of years, so I can do it for her. And she's a good eater. She has a great appetite. And so I would walk past the big dining room where the normal assisted care is. And then you go past that to another door, which is where the more hardcore memory care is. So I would walk past, and there are ladies that I know from when my mom lived on that side. And then they would be like, "Hey, Sherry," or they may not know my name, or they may. And I always wave and say, sometimes I'm like, "How are you?" "Oh, good." "Okay." And then I walk on. And one day I stopped, and a lady named Sharon started talking to me, and then the other lady started talking, and their little faces were just really lit up. They were smiling and they were laughing, and normally I walk by and they're okay. They're just not really pumped up. And I realized that, they talk to each other all the time. They sit at the same 3 times a day. They sit at the same table with the same people. And I was somebody different. And that meant something to them. And so I made a promise to myself that day that I would no longer walk past. I might walk past, um, go in to see my mom for a few minutes, come back, and then go back to see my mom for the long visit. But I no longer walk past. I always stay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, and visit with them. And I love it. And what I really love is watching their faces light up. And now, because I've been doing that for a while, their faces light up when they see me. And it's not because of me, it's just because I'm somebody different who's taking the time for them. And there's something really special about that. So, some of the ways it progressed after the beginning was I, I believe it's called sundowning, where my mom's sleep patterns were completely wrong, and she became it really played a role in a big decline at that time, because I think because of the lack of sleep. And then they tell me that she got up at 2 o'clock in the morning and streaked down the hall. And then she went through a stealing phase, which she wasn't the only one who did that. There was a woman who was, she would walk right in when mom and I were visiting and start going through my mom's drawers, and, you can't be mad about that. It just is what it is. And, but this was the way she held on to something or somehow made her feel better. And so my mom started stealing books from people's rooms. And it was not good because she at the time had her wheelchair, but she was also being encouraged to walk behind the wheelchair and use the wheelchair as a walker, but then she could sit down. So she was going around walking behind her wheelchair to other people's rooms and stealing their books. And she was piling the books on the chair of the wheelchair. And then she went to sit in the chair and fell and ended up in the hospital. So it ended up not being good. And the falls at that age become pretty catastrophic. So she declined at that point as well, quite a bit. And then while she got around, even though she didn't use her hands on the wheelchair like a normal person would, she used her little feet, which is the cutest thing ever. One time she escaped. And the funny part of her escape was not that she escaped, because I don't think she was trying to get away. She just wanted to tool around. She liked tooling around. She would do laps on the inside using her little feet. And, but what was funny to me is when the director was recounting what happened to me, she said, someone yelled out, "We got a runner." And I'm sitting there, like, the word runner to me was hilarious because, you know, on a good day, my mom could probably go a half a mile an hour, and that would be on a good day. So calling her a runner was pretty funny to me. So then there are two really crazy, beautiful things that have happened through this. And one of them just happened, which is why I'm doing this video. And so the first one was I'm a dog rescuer. I have had 3 rescues, one currently who's laying back there and you can't see him. And my first one, Shasta, she was a Newfoundland mix. And my mom bought me a Christmas ornament that was a Newfoundland and gave it to me in my stocking. My mom did stockings. She only stopped when she went into memory care. So she gave me that. And then I had her for 15 years. And after her, I had another dog, Nick, and he was a wolfhound mix. And she got me a wolfhound ornament. And those are really special to me. They're actually on my nightstand. And so after mom went into memory care and we had to go get what we wanted out of her house and get it cleaned up so it could be sold. I had my current dog for about a year, maybe. And he's a husky mix. And I found a husky Christmas ornament. I know she was going to give it to me for Christmas that year. And I don't know why that just struck me as like this beautiful, happy accident. And so all 3 of them are on my nightstand. And they mean, it may sound crazy to some, but those are some of my most valued possessions, those 3 ornaments, especially the last one, because of that I didn't get it from her, but I know she bought it for me. I know it was her plan. And so that was a fun accident. And then the other one, this is actually pretty crazy. So my mom and I every week I do selfies with us together. I have literally hundreds of them of us together. And I take pictures of her too, but every week we do the selfies. She doesn't really look at the camera anymore, but we still try, we still do them, and they're super valuable to me. But I don't have any phone messages from her. I mean, we did a lot together. So she used to call me all the time. And I don't have any phone messages of her voice, and it's like I forgot what her real voice is like because it's kind of different now. And so this last week, my app on my phone that I use for my messages crashed. And I was super discouraged. And it's a third party app. I liked it because it transcribed them in writing. But so it was suggested to me just to use my carrier, either my carrier or my phone, I can't remember. Use the app that comes with my phone. So I got that all hooked up, and there were 2 messages in it from years ago, more than 7 years ago for sure. There were 2 messages in the folder, and one of them was from my mom. And it was, the reason it was special, actually, they were both from my mom, but one of them was me. The reason it was special is because it boiled down what Mom and I were, our relationship. So the message was, "Hey, sissy." Hey, sissy. I wanted to see if you wanted to take a class with me this weekend. There's a class at Verizon on how to use your smartphone, and I need all the help I can get because I'm old and crotchety. That was her. She had a great sense of humor. And then I saw there's an estate sale this weekend, and I know you want to go, so give me a call so we can figure all that out. I love you. And it was my mom's voice before dementia, and it was, my mom and I took a lot of classes together, some night classes, crafty things. My mom loved crafts, and we went to estate sales a lot together because my mom loved it. I was more into it for going with my mom than actually doing that. So that message, and I sent the message to a couple of friends and said, "You're not going to believe what I found." And everyone said the same thing, like, "Oh my God, that's so beautiful. And I hope you saved it somewhere." And my response was, I sent it in an email to myself. I put it on this drive. I put it on that drive. I put it on my computer, and I put it on my phone. So yeah, I saved like it. It's really valuable to me, and I just wanted to share that because that was a happy accident, and that is the reason I'm actually doing this video.